I'm going to start this review off by saying if you slept on this figure, you need to rethink your decision and go grab this figure immediately. It is fantastic. Make sure you like and subscribe. It helps me to know that you're enjoying this content so I can make more. That being said, let's get into this. Here is Cobra Reptile Trainer, codename Croc Master, part of the Classified series, number 38. This original figure came out in '87, and I absolutely loved him. So it was a no-brainer that I was buying this figure. I haven't watched the original Joe cartoon in a long time. I don't ever remember Croc Master being in it, and that just may be my brain being filled with almost 40 years of other stuff, so it's gotten pushed out along the way. But he was always one of my favorites that I played with. He was quite a departure from the normal, everyday troops that Cobra had. Pulling this figure out of the plastic, he feels great. They gave this boy some muscles. You expect a man named Croc Master to have some muscle, and boy do they give it to him. He has the same double hinged joints that most of the other figures in this line have. He also has a piece in his shoulder that I've noticed some figures have, which gives him greater range of motion, especially if you're putting him in poses where he's trying to wrench open or pull on the gator's chain. It's a nice added feature. He has that 3-stage ratcheting torso, which most of the figures in this line have. This is something that I really look for, or at least want in a figure these days. I also unboxed one of the Indiana Jones figures, and he doesn't have that function, and it limits what poses you're able to get him into, because I can really do a lot with that. His crocodile vest is very well sculpted. I did have a thought, though. It is a little messed up that he has also skinned them and is wearing them as his uniform. Slightly messed up, but again, he is a bad guy, so maybe that's expected. His belt and codpiece are very well sculpted and painted. That eye is perfect. His knees have those double hinged joints as well and can bend almost all the way back. He also has the great foot rotation that all of these figures have, which allows him to get into those deep squat positions, which you'll see later on, especially when he's riding on or trying to wrangle the crocodile. His head sculpt is great. They increased the size of his mouthpiece and canisters, as well as you can even see the little stitching in the mask where he sewed it together. And the most beautiful thing of all with this figure is they actually attached the hose and the canister together. So there is no more losing the stupid hose. I can't tell you how many times as a child I thought I lost the hose for his mask. The hose is attached to a canister that slots into the hole on his back where normally a backpack would go, but he's the Croc Master. He doesn't need a backpack. He's got a full range of head motions, and the hose does not really impede that. But all in all, this figure is so imposing. If he just came in a package by himself, I still would have bought him as is. And now we move on to the crocodile, whose name is Fiona. When picking this figure up off the shelf, I didn't realize that they had given the crocodile a name, much like Spirit's name being changed to Spirit Iron Knife. She may have been given a name in the cartoon, or maybe even in the comic books later on, but I was not aware of this. I did some quick research and I couldn't find anything about when and how they named her. If you have any of that information, please feel free to leave it in the comments. I'm sure a lot of us would like to know. I never thought I would absolutely love an action figure of a crocodile. Never thought those words would come out of my mouth. They gave this action figure so many points of articulation. Just in the front of her body alone, she has 2 different ball joints for articulation between her head and her forearms. The plastic or rubbery plastic that they used for Fiona really brings a whole different life to this figure when you touch it. She's got some weight and some heft to her and is pretty solid. Each of her limbs are ball joints and can rotate, as well as each paw even has joints in them so you can adjust how she stands. As you can see here, I accidentally went a little too far and popped her head off. But in the grand scheme of things, that actually was a good thing. I mean, look at that pose. I got this alligator to stand on its hind legs. You can't do that with a ton of animal action figures. This figure also comes with 2 baby crocodiles. One is a green coloration and the other one is albino. Interesting fact, mother crocodiles will carry their babies around in their mouth to protect them from predators. Had no idea. Some of the Croc Master's other accessories are his whip, and it's kind of a rubbery plastic, so it's stuck in that position. I almost would have preferred a more braided style of rope that actually has no form, which would have allowed you to do a little more with it. He also comes with a hand hook, which is used for training his crocodiles, as well as a beefy revolver pistol. This thing is chonky, which is very fitting for this character and also fits nicely in the holster that is provided on his leg. And he also comes with a boot knife, which also has a holster down on his ankle. And the last and final piece is Fiona's collar and chain. If you do end up getting this figure and trying to put it on, it fits over her snout, but then not quite over the rest of her head. So the best way I found to put this on is actually to remove her head and put it on in reverse, and then stick her head back into her body. Now that I have all the accessories out of the package, let's get this figure up on the turntable so you can see what all my ranting and raving has been about. As I said at the top of this video, if you slept on this figure, I would be reconsidering your decisions. I can't say enough good things about these 2 figures, let alone just Fiona. I never thought I would absolutely love an action figure of a crocodile. Hasbro, you nailed this one. Thank you for watching, and if you like this video, please consider giving it a like and subscribe. There are a lot more G.I. Joe unboxings on my channel, as well as a lot more coming, so keep an eye out for those. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next one.